All right, well, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Monday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Before the Four. Of course, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. Wherever you're watching Before the Four this Monday afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream, as always, I say it every day. Thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Monday afternoon here. Now let's begin with a recap of the past few days here in North Alabama. A violent weekend in Huntsville as the city saw numerous incidents and cases of violent behavior. 2 were killed and 4 injured in a 48-hour span that saw 5 different attacks. 48's Noah Cowell reports.
The first incident in Huntsville this weekend happened early Friday morning. One person was killed in a shooting on Binford Drive just 5 days after another was killed outside the same apartment complex. 5 hours later, a body was found on the side of Highway 231, a case we now know is another murder investigation. Fast forward to Saturday afternoon when one man was seriously injured after an attack on Patton Road. HPD says one of them pistol whipped the victim, who is still in the hospital. 3 men were arrested for second-degree assault. Then, 1 a.m. Sunday morning, 2 people were injured in an apartment shooting right off University, but thankfully both are expected to survive. The final shooting happened a few hours after that, where gunshots were fired into a house where 87-year-old Marjorie Binford lives with her family. She says she was up watching TV when she heard shouting from the living room.
My daughter and granddaughter ran and said, "Grandmama, hit the floor, hit the floor." I said, what? And they said, is somebody shooting? I said, what?
Binford says police told them 40 shots were fired at their house and several went inside. The glass in their front door shattered completely, and you can see holes through the next door and throughout the side of their house as well. HPD arrested 2 men suspected of firing into this house later this morning. This type of event would rattle most, but not Binford. For her, this is sadly deja vu. It's the second shooting incident into their home in a matter of weeks, and she has no idea why.
The holes in the wall, that was done a couple of weeks ago, and I surely didn't think it would come back. Thank God for everything He protected. And I don't pray for nothing to happen to them. I pray for them to be saved and delivered from the evil, because the world is getting weaker and wickeder.
And today we learned that an investigation is now underway in Coleman County after a 27-year-old Huntsville man was stabbed to death in the Colony community. The coroner has identified that man killed as Matthew Hall. The stabbing occurred yesterday afternoon around 5 o'clock. The Coleman County Sheriff's Department says 1 person has been detained and there is no current active threat in the community. Of course, we'll continue to update you all as we learn the latest, as we learn more. But now, turning over to the weather, a beautiful start to June, as for the first time in a while, we saw a weekend here across the Tennessee Valley without rain. It's warming up this week and beginning to feel like summer weather. First Alert meteorologist Jeff DeNoyer has what to expect weather-wise for the rest of the week. Jeff?
Hey, good Monday afternoon to everybody. After a weekend that we were able to make it through Saturday and Sunday, 2 weekend days without rainfall, we've taken it right into Monday too. A little hazy at times, yes, but overall not bad in terms of the way it's played out for the last couple of days. Some drier weather, which is great. Temperatures are in the 80s right now and a little humid. That's what's changed. We've added just a little bit more humidity. Live look 565 in Madison and get a little sunshine mixed with some clouds at times, but overall a nice day. Not as hazy as it was the last couple of days with the smoke from the wildfires drifting south from Canada. Mostly clear and muggy tonight. We'll go mid-60s. Tuesday, humid, warm, hot, however you want to define it. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s to near 90 degrees. There's a slight chance of a shower both Wednesday and Thursday in the afternoon. Doesn't look like it will be widespread rainfall. It would provide a little bit of relief from the heat, but more areas will likely stay dry than get wet. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s. The higher chance of rain this week or more widespread rainfall will come on Friday. And unfortunately, it does look like it will stay for the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Some of those storms each day could be strong with some gusty winds, and we'll certainly be tracking the potential for some heavy rainfall for Friday, Saturday, and for Sunday.
And need I even say it, First Alert Weather Extra, that will be tonight at 9:30. Jeff Denoyer, you just saw him there. He'll be back here in the CTV Center, and he'll have all the latest that he's seeing weather-wise for this week. Again, that is 9:30 tonight. You are just not going to want to miss it. But now, heading to a story we learned earlier today, we learned that the Alabama Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Rick Pate, will run for lieutenant governor in next year's race. Now, Pate, who is term limited in his current position, has been the state's Commissioner of Agriculture since 2018. A conservative, Pate grew up in Lowndes County on his family's cattle farm. He graduated from Auburn University in 1978 with a degree in horticulture. He went on to start Pate Landscape Company in 1982, which he ran for 38 years. Pate was a delegate to the Republican National Convention and one of the 9 Alabama electors for President Donald Trump in 2020 and 2024. As commissioner, Pate launched Sweet Grown Alabama to promote local agricultural products, expand the state's farm-to-school program, and led a Thank You Farmer campaign. Alabama's primary election will be on May 19th, 2026. And also, former Alabama Supreme Court Justice Jay Mitchell announced he will run for Alabama Attorney General in 2026. In his announcement today, Mitchell said he is a, quote, proven conservative and a warrior for President Donald J. Trump and America's first agenda, end quote. He begins extensive experience as a judge and lawyer. Mitchell resigned from the state Supreme Court back in May. He was born in Mobile and grew up in South Alabama and Homewood. He earned a bachelor's degree from Birmingham Southern College, a master's from the University College in Dublin, Ireland, and received his law degree from the University of Virginia School of Law. Mitchell says if elected, he plans to crack down on violent crime, enforce immigration law, back the blue, defend the sanctity of life, and, quote, fight the woke agenda, end quote. Now, again, the primary election will be on May 19th, 2026. But now, coming up after the break, we'll preview Make Music Week coming up here in Huntsville, recapping Huntsville's newest football team after they get a big win over the weekend, dominating their opponent in the first game ever. And we have a sweet story for you all that you're just not going to want to miss. Hint, hint, it involves ice cream, so what's better than that? It's all ahead. I'll be right back in 1 minute. All right, well, hello everyone and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, starting later this month, you'll be hearing a lot of music throughout Huntsville Hospital. Starting June 16th and going on until the 21st, the hospital will have several local musicians perform. This is the first time that the hospital is putting on a week-long celebration in honor of Make Music Day here in Huntsville. Make Music Day is hosted by the Huntsville Music Office and the Huntsville Hospital Music Therapy Program. The hospital decided to create Make Music Week in honor of it being their 5th anniversary of participating in Make Music Day. Now, during the week, patients will be given instrument kits to make their own instruments. The hospital will also put on a music parade at the Pediatric Center. Huntsville Hospital also has a team of music therapists that use music to support patients during their stay. One music therapist, Jordan Bashirs, who works at the hospital, told 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy she often sees patients who are anxious or in pain during their hospital stay. She says music is often used to bring some comfort to those patients. Let's take a listen.
I think that joy of music, getting to bring it live, getting to bring it into a hospital, which can be very scary for a lot of people. It can be very upsetting that your loved one is here or that you have to be here. To be able to bring that community, that joy, that just emotion that music brings is so special. We did our own songwriting activity and we wrote her very own song that was just about something completely unrelated to the hospital. But we talked about using music as a coping skill, using that creativity, and we ended up recording it, and I got to send it to her, and she got to take it away, and she emailed me after. She was like, "This was so amazing," and it was just so special.
Pretty cool stuff. Again, Make Music Day in Huntsville will be on Saturday, June 21st. You can find out which locations musicians will be performing throughout the Rocket City by checking out this story on our website. Just go to WAFF.com. But now we got to talk about the Huntsville Astros. Pro football is back in Huntsville, and the team won its first game over the weekend. The Huntsville Astros kicked off their inaugural season at Milton Frank Stadium yesterday. They took on the Tennessee Hornets in their first ever outing. The Astros looked dominant in their first game, beating the Hornets 45-0. That's how to get it done. The team's general manager, Andre Jackson, says he's proud of the team and for the fans for showing up with their support. Let's take a listen.
To be able to have a finished product and see it today is all worthwhile. But more so than anything, when you see the people in the stands enjoying it and supporting it, that gives you the reason to show that you did the right things. I love our defense. I love our team as a whole. Our defense is going at it, and our offense is showing them they come to play as well. But most importantly, I'm glad the fans got to see a football game.
How about those Huntsville Astros? Again, the Astros will play 3 more games at Milton Frank Stadium this season. Tickets are available right now, so go and get them. But now let's turn over to the good side. And today we head down to Troy, Alabama, where 2 brothers are hard at work manning their ice cream truck and having a great time doing it, serving up smiles. WSFA's Judd Davis has this incredibly sweet story.
When that familiar tune pulls up, it's like a magnet for kids. 2 Brothers Frozen Treats in Troy offers something a little different. We first met the business owners back in June of 2020. Ethan was 6, Tyler was
12.
Today,
My name is Tyler Caden Watley, and I'm 17 years old.
My name is Ethan Jabari Watley, and I'm 12 years old.
they've really grown up in the last 5 years.
Came a long way. I didn't think it was gonna last this long.
And over the years, they've learned some good lessons.
Managing our money and just like communicating with people and with kids. Just having fun, really.
As you can imagine, 2 brothers working together don't always get along.
We get into it sometimes, but we do work together a lot.
We kind of get into it all the time, a little bit, but like that's what brothers do. But we kind of come together though.
For their customers of all ages, these guys have it down to a science.
Which one would you like? Powder puff. Thank you.
We have characters, ice cream sandwiches, bomb pops, like strawberry shortcake bars, chocolate eclairs, cookies and cream bar, cookies and cream sandwich, chips galore.
Tyler is heading into his senior year in high school, and soon he'll be off to college. But Ethan says he has a baby brother that should be ready to fill in just a few years. So 2 brothers can keep serving up smiles.
Well, we're gonna keep him. We're gonna keep him on there, and just gonna add the face in the middle.
In Troy, out along County Road 12.
Whew, I'm gonna have to make my way down to Troy, a quick little road trip, and get me some ice cream. I saw that SpongeBob pop and I was like, that brought back so many awesome memories, but incredibly sweet story right there. Love to see it. A great way to end before the 4. But before we do that, let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. Decatur Police Chief Tori Mack getting sworn into the new role. 48's Callie Neese will have details on that coming up. Speaking with summer feeding groups about taking care of kids with meals over the summer. 48 Savannah Sapp will have more on that. And finally, the latest on the cleanup efforts in the shoals. 48's Aria Pons will have the latest on those efforts following up on the May 20 tornadoes. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. And let's see, it is 3:55. It is time for Facebook fun. It is Facebook fun time. And today's 48 Facebook question of the day: what food makes or breaks a picnic for you? The weather's getting nice, the sun's coming out this week. You might want to go for a little midweek picnic. But what I want to know is what food makes or breaks it for you. And let's see what you all had to say. For me, the answer is simple. It's got to have fried chicken. If it doesn't have fried chicken from either KFC, Bojangles, Popeyes, or do-it-yourself chicken, it's just not a picnic. It's got to have fried chicken. It's got to have mashed potatoes also, and maybe some mac and cheese as well. But let's see what you all had to say. Bugs, I don't do picnics. Jan Nordstrom, she does not like the bugs. That breaks a picnic for her. Chicken makes my picnic. Yes, Susan, that is right. Chicken makes every picnic. It's got to be fried chicken too. None of that grilled stuff. It's got to be fried for a picnic. Thomas said sandwiches and fruit is all you need. That's a good picnic, I would say, but still doesn't have my chicken. Sharon said sandwiches, potato salad, watermelon, cheese, and crackers. A good mix of different types of food there, different varieties. Love to see it. And then again, Jane said bugs breaks a picnic for her. But awesome comments today. Thank you all for commenting on today's 48 Facebook question of the day. That is just about it for today's Before the 4. That's all the time I have. I wish I could keep going, but unfortunately we are all out of time. But thank you all for sticking around and watching today's Before the 4. I hope you all have a great night. Enjoy tonight's evening newscasts. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.